Hare Krishna, everyone. What an incredible day it has been today. Here I am with our youth leaders, Sukanya, all the way from Pennsylvania. Where exactly are you in Pennsylvania?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I thought you were. For some reason, I thought Harrisburg, but that might be Bhavia, right?
Yeah.
And then Ishika, who's all the way here from Columbus, Ohio. Columbus?
Yep.
Yeah, Columbus, Ohio, where they just had a massive, massive festival. So I am excited today is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a spiritual saint who, for the very first time, he wrote a book about Chaitanya, his life and precepts, and that got sent to McGill University in Canada, to Oxford, to all kinds of, I think it even came to the United States in like the 1800s. And today is his disappearance day, and today is also the day that I finished my book, and it's being uploaded right now. I actually completed it on this day, and it's very exciting because I'm also sharing the message of Lord Chaitanya, Saint Gora, and his bhakti precepts in helping parents and educators with strategies on working with children, communication, and whatnot, and empowering children in their leadership. So we also have a youth leadership class, the Bhakti Leadership Academy, and these two girls signed up 2 years ago in 2020 when all of us were shut down because of the pandemic. And I've been studying with them once a week with a few breaks here and there for 2 years. And they're such powerhouses. My God, both girls are academically totally astute, they get good good grades. Their work has been stellar. Their realizations, their understandings, their communication skills. They did leadership projects with us where they had to gather a team, come up with a common goal, and figure out how to enact plans, goals, and tasks and due dates and all of that as part of their action learning project. So enough about talking, enough of me talking, and now we can hear from them. So I introduce to you Ishika and Sukanya. Who wants to start? Let's talk about your journey. How did you find out about the courses? Let's keep it specific. What was your experience with the bhakti courses, the leadership courses, and how did it help you socially? How did it help you in your social situation during the pandemic?
I can go first. So these bhakti courses have been very inspiring to me. They helped me so much, and especially this course, Mataji, you gave us. It was so incredible. I learned so much from this course. It taught me bhakti values that I could relate to my material and spiritual lives. And I there was a weird way I came to this course. I approached this course. This random one day, my dad just told me, "Oh, do you want to join this course?" And I'm like, "Dad, I already have so many other courses you enrolled me in." And I'm like, "I'm packed." And my dad's like, "You should do this one. I'm telling you, Gopi Gita is a really good teacher." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out and see." And after that first class, I was like, wow, I'm definitely staying here. And it was a very good choice I made, and just loved the classes. And it helped me involve in different discussions, activities, and different projects we did, as you mentioned. And I love interacting with Ishika and all the other classmates I had in that class with different projects and breakout room discussions.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. I've never heard that before. I didn't know how you had started. And what about you, Ishika?
So I actually started with the Narsima course. That was a course I took before starting the Bhakti Sastri. And actually, my brother and we were actually being forced to take the Narsima course because my brother and we were like literally not thrilled at all. We thought it'd be so boring. It'd be like this course where we have to memorize like 50 million verses. We're going to get like pages and pages of homework. It's going to be so boring. But then after the first class, I was like so engaged and I was looking forward to the next class so much because it was just so interactive, and the way Mataji teaches it, it's just so amazing. I mean, like, I even loved the homework we got. It was interactive notebooks, and it's just so fun, coloring and like just using your creativity. And it was just like really fun. So then after the Narasimha course, I got to learn about the Bhakti Sastri, and I was actually too young for it. And so my parents and we begged Mataji to put me in because like my birthday was coming up.
Were
So
you you were like 10, I think, huh?
yeah, I was like 10.
You were
And
10, yeah. You were
yeah,
too young, yeah, because I only have students 12 and up, but you're so mature. After all of our interviews, I realized that okay. But I probably won't be making that exception for many people if anyone's watching, just FYI.
yeah.
But Ishika, yeah, you came in, we had some discussions, and then you came in and you were so vibrant. You guys are like walking ads, like, oh, Sukanya is still spotlighted. You guys are like walking ads because to everybody listening, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining. Deva Kanya Mataji, Hari Krishna. So nice to see you. Can you do me a favor and give these girls a little bit of a boost and hit that share button right now? They're talking about their experience with the youth leadership courses, and it's not just that they're like just saying this stuff. These are teenagers that are really hard to like motivate and please. I know. I was a teenager in America myself, and my two boys were teenagers, and I work with teenagers every day, all day. So not all day really, I work with the little ones all day, but I'm definitely around teenagers a lot. So they committed to 2 years. I'm so glad. And yes, the style of the courses are interactive and engaging and exciting, and totally contemporary to connect the bhakti scriptures to your contemporary life. How do you meditate? How can you empower the verse vacho vegam, control your tongue? What does that mean for us in today's world? And they connected deeply with the scripture, with the literature, learning like all the principles and applying them in their schools with their friendships. So tell me a little bit about a principle, spiritual and material, that you applied and that you learned from.
From the active instruction itself, I really a spiritual principle / material principle we learned about was how to be proactive and reactive in situations. I've personally been more reactive than proactive during the pandemic because we've been so close and together. We were not allowed to go out anywhere, not meet with any friends. We were just always with our family. And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes that's not a good thing because, sometimes we fight and, all these different stuff come up that usually don't come up.
That was so true, Sukanya. Oh my God. During the pandemic, we were in online learning, and I was so reactive after trying to teach first and second and third graders through a computer screen the whole day. And it was so good for me to teach that philosophy to you, because then I had to learn it also, like imbibe it as well as I was teaching it. And also, teenage life is a time of hormones, man. Your hormones are kicking in. They still are. Both of you are still very deeply invested in teenagers, something for parents to navigate, that it's a normal part of being raised, when you're working through growing up and finding independence. And what about you, Ishika? What was one of the lessons that you loved? Now, Ishika, you gave a class, like a few classes. This little girl was like, what, 11 years old or still 10? And she like plops herself down with in front of a whole room full of their community members there in Ohio, and gives a whole class like super powered up. I was so impressed. I think I got like totally tears in my eyes with her little interactive notebook, sharing all the philosophies. It was great. So Ishika, what was your favorite concept?
So there were many concepts that really helped me in life, but I mean, I felt like since I was a middle schooler now, so when you get into middle school, not just physically, but emotionally you change. So I was becoming more like concerned about very small things. So I felt like I had so many weaknesses, and I would like concentrate on those weaknesses and just find all the things bad in me and like just concentrate on those bad things. But since after learning that these weaknesses can turn into strengths, it really like helped me like regain my confidence and like regain like, okay, I'm not like a failure or anything. It's fine. I mean, I have my flaws too. It's just that can become my strengths. For example, I'm very indecisive, so I take a lot of time to decide. And but even though that's very like indecisiveness might like irritate me and others, because others might be like, you're taking too much time. Like, come on, just choose. It's not that hard. But for me, it's like really hard. But I mean, the strength of that is that I'm very cautious in my decisions. So I'm not carefree. I'm not like, okay, it doesn't matter. But like, I'm very cautious, and like, I like think about it and then I choose. So yeah, that's like something that really helped me become a better me.
Wow, I love that. I remember you had written about this, but hearing you say it again, that was a while ago, right? That you had done that lesson, weaknesses and strengths, and all of these are tied. For example, the reactive proactive lesson is tied to the nectar of instruction, verse 1, and the strengths and weaknesses is tied to the, I believe, eighth, ninth, seventh, the seventh chapter, one of those chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. I'm trying to remember exactly where we had tied it. It was a really, really good spiritual concept that the strengths and weaknesses. Oh, yes, I remember. Go ahead, you tell me.
I think it's like jnana and karma, like activities. Like we were like, it was like something about that, I think.
Yeah, Gyan and Karma activities. And do you remember by any chance, Sukanya? I believe it was when we were discussing principles from the ninth chapter and how Krishna accepts us regardless of our mistakes. And that's when we did the strength turning into the weaknesses turning into strengths. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull up the some of your work. I'd love to show off some of your work here. Bhakti work. And then I'm going to share my screen here. If you want to sign up, if you're a teenager and you happen to be watching this, courses are starting up again around July, August, September. Haven't been finalized. We're still working on, that's a long range, right? July, August, September. Ishika and Sukanya will be most likely hitting you up. They're going to be ambassadors for these youth leader classes, and other students will be as well. And if you want to join this, they're not done, though they have graduated from the Bhakti Leadership Academy. Now they're working with me on a whole bunch of other initiatives because, you know, they're like dynamite. These, I'm going to call you kids because you're still kids to me. And they have so much energy and so much intelligence, like PowerPoints, like they're doing PowerPoints, and I know everybody does it last minute. I'm sure both of you had that experience where you were doing things last minute. And just literally doing a PowerPoint, like it took them like what, 15 minutes? Like they're technologically like on it. Anyway, so they're going to be helping me in my service spaces because there's just always so much to do. So here's the Bhakti leadership courses. If you'd like your child to start off with the 2-year process and then get plugged in to either administrative education or Bhakti leadership classes or parenting support, if you'd like them to get plugged into giving other children an amazing experience that they have, they go through those 2 years and then they get plugged in to active service. And so you can sign up here. This over here on this page, Bhakti Work. Gopigita.com/bhakti work. You'll see testimonials, you'll see student work samples if you're like, okay, what work do they need to do? And you'll see, you know, more information here of all of the stuff that the kids do. And I'm trying to see if I can find one of you guys. I know I have, there's Ishika, and where is Sukanya? There's Sukanya. All right, so we'll stop with Bhagavad Gita 7b types from Sukanya. Oops. Let's share that again. And let's get the sound on. Hi, everybody who's joined. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Krishna. Please hit that share button and encourage my youth leader graduates. So here we go. Ooh, I love this one. Okay.
Hey Krishna Mataji, so I forgot to add 2 extra pages that I did from the extra notebook pages for chapter 7. So I did 2 extra pages, one for 4 types of people who want Krishna and the other ones 4 types of people who don't want Krishna. So this is the ones who want Krishna. So this is the activity I did, and then I wrote the Sanskrit and then add the picture. And here are the 4 types of people who don't want Krishna. So the grossly foolish, the lowest among mankind, knowledge is stolen by illusion, and atheistic demons. So I wrote the Sanskrit and I have the pictures. Okay, that's all it is.
That's awesome. You know what I love is the color work that you do in that, you know, like you really put your time and energy into that work. Here's Ishika's. Let's get the screen shared again. And here's Ishika's. There we go.
Hello Mataji, here are chapter 6 pages in my interactive notebook. So first I have just added chapter 6 to my table of contents. So then I have my chapter 6 verses, and I glued a picture of Lord Shamsundar here, and then I drew a peacock, and then I have the verses inside. Next, on page 48, I have the chapter 6 overview, and I have the summary for each section. And since I write a little too big, this kind of continues like this. And that's the same thing for the fourth section. That. Then on the next 2 pages, I have the chapter 6 translations, and I have filled out the words on this page. So finally, I have my Make Your Mind a Friend page, and I just found alternatives that are related to Krishna for all these thoughts I had during my japa. Or I just wrote like it's not really like needed to like think of that during my japa time. And like 50% of these thoughts were like related to Krishna, and the other 50% were like not. And this homework assignment is a homework assignment in a different class. Thank you so much for watching, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
That was awesome. That lesson on what are you thinking about while you're doing your meditation, while you're doing your japa meditation, and how can you refocus your mind to the meditation? I love that. And I loved your colors. I love your colorful personality, your colorful book. Very cool. Well, so nice to see you both again. And I know, what are your plans for the summer? I know, Ishika, you're going to India. What about you, Sukanya? What are you doing?
Right now I've been pretty packed actually. This whole month, in the beginning I went to Nirga, then I went to 24-hour Kirtan in Vrindavan.
Oh, wow, you have been busy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this weekend I also been to a Kirtan, like an 8-hour Kirtan at Delaware. And then this whole like all of July coming up, there are like Red Chatras coming up. So I'm just gonna be busy in that.
Festivals, isn't it? When we were your age, we would totally tour the whole East Coast and just go down and go to all the festivals. And Ishika, what are you looking forward to in India?
So I am visiting Mayapur and Jagannath Puri for the first time. I'm revisiting Vrindavan, but not spending too many days because we need to fully visit Mayapur and Jagannath Puri first. And yeah, that's like the main thing I'm really looking forward to, and the shopping. Obviously, I have a whole list, in my planner and stuff. So like the shopping is like a main part of going to India. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome. Yeah, the holy places and the shopping. That's totally where it's at. That's exactly what I do too. Those are the 2 things on my list. We were going to talk about ALPs, but I'm being mindful right now about the time. They had also completed an action learning project at the end of the Bhagavad Gita module. And Sukanya had gathered a team to work on organizing a Kirtan festival at her temple. She had to deal with all the details that were involved in that. And Ishika had gathered a team and worked on fundraising. And she made a goal that she felt she could reach for fundraising for their foundation laying ceremony at the new temple that they're building, right, in ISKCON Columbus. So what were the challenges that you found in these action learning projects, these leadership projects where you had to work with other people and manage tasks and whatnot? And how did you overcome those challenges? Sukanya, why don't you get started first?
Yes. Some of my challenges were kind of bringing the whole group together at one point because now like everybody's like busy in their own lives, everybody's going everywhere, so it's kind of hard to bring everybody together to plan out the event. So that was kind of a struggle, but to overcome that, we kind of like were determined of like, okay, we need to meet at a time. We can't, pull this away because this is an important task. It's for the Lord, and we need to do this for Lord Krishna and for everybody else, to make them engage in Krishna's activities and to think about him in every way.
I love to make that. I love, love, love that you made that the driving force and the motivation that this needs to be done for Krishna's pleasure. And that's how we can get through all conflicts. That's so beautiful. Thank you for teaching me that today. I love that message, Sukanya. And what about you, Ishika?
So I had like a small group. It was only like three of us, and like our parents helped a little bit, but it was like main three of us. And so since we decided on sticking to a plan to like distribute books and like take like and have money for like the new temple and like distribute flyers for the temple, there are two main problems. First of all, one problem, since we're really good friends, our calls would extend to like 3 hours even sometimes. Like we talk and like we would like get off track and all that, and that really started irritating me because I started getting really tired. And like at that time I had like homework and stuff, I mean, they're like younger than me, so like they're like 1 and 2 years younger than me, so I was like the eldest one, and I was like 7th grade and all that. I was like packed, so that was a problem, and that actually really irritated me. And sometimes they would slack off, like once we were having a call, and the whole time the other girl, she was doing like an organizing thing like her mom told her to do, and we were like, when are you gonna be done? And she was like, oh, I'll be done. But like it was like going on for the next hour, and like she wasn't really contributing to any of the discussions, but it was fine because then at the end it did turn out to be a success and we did reach our goal. So yeah.
You naturally, you felt some challenges. You definitely were annoyed and disturbed by things. And these challenges that both of you faced, these are pretty common in any management and any leadership and any even collaborative setting. That how do you make the meeting not go too long? How do you keep everybody focused on the task without being disrespectful to them and what they're saying? How do you accept what they're saying at the same time say, okay, we're on a time limit? These are things we all deal with in our business environments, in our work environments, in our service environments. So interesting. How did you, Ishika, navigate that? Did you just continue having long meetings? Were you able to like rein in the conversation and stick to time, or how was your experience with that?
So what I started doing was I had like a whole, like I would create a Google slideshow, and I would like make it like a vertical kind of thing, and I'd like put all the things we need to do and all the things we need to discuss. Like one day we had to make the script for like what we're gonna say, and like so that day I like stick according to the plan, and I was like, guys, we need to like focus. I was a little strict, not like a lot, because like these are like my friends, so like it's not like they're gonna be like offended or anything. So I was like, I made like a whole list of things we need to accomplish, and like every time, like every class afterwards, the 3-hour classes, I would ask which tasks have been done and which ones needed to be done by that day.
Nice. Okay, so you had like an organizational structure that you followed, and that helped you. That's excellent. And that for anyone who's watching, parents, teenagers, we work through all of these concepts. We teach actual leadership management concepts in these courses continuously, where the goal is that your child can manage and work with other people, learn how to hit objectives either spiritually or materially, and then also learn communication skills and just so much. It's just, there's already so much in the Bhakti literature, and to just pull that out and enhance it with contemporary leadership techniques and styles and strategies is what we do in these classes. So if you're interested, go to gopigita.com/bhakti work. If you want to empower your child to leadership, get my new book. It's coming out in 2 days. Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm saying that. And Sukanya, I hope you join the Inner Circle book launch. And Ishika, if you're on the plane and you have internet, you can join it. You might be sleeping though.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that you guys worked so hard, and I'm glad that it's not all over. I'm glad that you both have committed that you will continue working with me in the summer and onwards, because I know when I see you both, I haven't even seen these girls in person, and I've only seen 3 of these students. We had a whole bunch of students come through, and only 3 of them I got to see in person. Every time I would go see in person, I would start crying, because when you've been seeing somebody across the screen for like 2 years and you've never met them in person. Like we have such a bond, and yet, yeah, I can't wait to see you in person. I want to hand you your certificate by hand. But all right, so Hare Krishna, everybody, Hare Krishna, and hit that share button. Let's sign up the teens. Let's get our teens to be excited about Krishna consciousness, excited about their space, their identity, and in youth leadership like these two girls have been. And so go sign your students, your children up, Bhakti Work, gopigita.com/bhakti work. There's a link there as well. And you can sign up either for the next class starting as the Nectar of Instruction, or you can sign up for the full 2 years. All right, any last words, girls? Not really.
Yes.
All righty. So I'm going to stop the live video. You guys can stay right here.